What's up, everybody? So I want to show off some issues with pipes. Before you get started working with piping, you need to know this. Um, I believe this is a bug. I don't entirely know for sure. I don't think this is working as intended, what I'm about to show off. It's been around for as long as I've been working in Inventor, which is quite a while now. And in my opinion, structural steel should work the same conceptually as far as how it's itemized as pipe. And so that doesn't seem to be the case. And so I'm going to show it off, how to fix it, how to cope with it, and something to be aware of. Because if you're working with a bunch of pipes like this, you don't want to make all the content and then have to go back and fix the same problem on each pipe. It's going to be very time consuming. And so what we're going to do is I'll show you how to fix a pipe, show you how to copy it appropriately, and that way you can just keep using the same pipe and lay all these out and not have to worry about the BOM issues. So a normal pipe, how does it look in a BOM? Beautiful, once it's complete, right? You can actually make a custom column. And if you would like to see something like that, I can make a video on how to do a custom column that shows the length of things like structural steel members and piping. But you want it to show the quantity of however much pipe, just like you would a fitting, right? If you have two engines, you don't want to say the diameter of the engine or whatever. You want to say there's two engines. And so what happens is when you do a default, the quantity shows wrong. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but you'll find that it's actually quite a pain when you get into it. So if you go to the tube and pipe in the content center and conduit, and then place a pipe just so that we can take a look at one. I'm going to choose B3610. I don't exactly know the difference or preferences between 3619 and 3610, but I worked at a pretty heavy duty industrial fabrication shop, and 3610 is always what we use. And I like to use threaded ends because you can always suppress the feature and manipulate that model. But if it doesn't have the option for the feature on the threaded ends, you're just going to have to do more rework. So in my opinion, always work with B3610 threaded ends. And then really, if you're going to use the same pipe over and over, like set it up so that you can suppress the different features on it, the thread one end, thread both end. If you set it up well, you have a universal pipe you can use on a repeat, and it helps a lot. And then also, when you place a part from Content Center, and this goes for anything, you want to make sure to choose as custom. If you choose as standard, you're actually going to place the original library file, the Content Center part. So if you change the diameter of the pipe, you've messed up your library file forever. Every time you copy that pipe, it's going to come in wrong, So you want to make sure to choose as custom, because you're going to create an instance of it. You're going to instantiate the original file, duplicating it, putting it in your project. And so then it's also going to be in your project, so you won't lose that part when you transfer files or whatever. It's very important to choose as custom. Everything in here should be isolated to the project you're working on, unless you have a main library, managed by your company or whatever. But in that case, you already know to use as custom when and where. So anyways, I'm going to save a file. Just going to generically choose the base name, which I would not recommend you do, but for the sake of explanation, we'll do it. And what you see is we have a varies. You're probably wondering why it says varies. It's a really tricky thing. Sometimes it's not consistent. It used to be very consistent, but sometimes when you go through and you make a part from Content Center, it may retain the previous name if you copy it. So like, if I went through and saved a copy of this out, it would choose the same quote unquote part number iProperty. And if you don't see, for whatever reason, this icon up here, you can always add the icon by hitting this drop down, choosing iProperties, or you can right click on the part and choose iProperties. But either way, so what happens is sometimes this part number file name doesn't update appropriately. In this case, I'm just going to throw something in there. I don't use the value anyways, but you can be more technical if you need to. The default parts list does use it. So like if you want to see what a standard parts list would look like whenever you're on your version, it would look more like this. And again, I can, make a video if people are interested in seeing the process of making a custom parts list and having parameters associated with it and stuff. But pipe would look a lot more rough here. And in this case, you can see what happened was I made a 12-inch pipe, and there's already one with that same name. And so when I added the 1, it separated it out. So if I move it back to the GNTC label, you'll see that there's no longer a varies because there's not 2 pipes with the same name. And that is the base issue that causes it, is that basically this part number description, what it's supposed to do is be the name of the file when you save it, right? But the big thing is if you rename the file or whatever, this part number value doesn't actually update. So it's very important that you are keep an eye out for the varies, and when you are, try to take note of what you just did and go check the part numbers, because that's probably your issue. Now, the second issue is obviously now you can see the quantity. It shows the length, the same as the actual length. And all the length is actually just the L parameter in a pipe. That's all it is. But we don't want the quantity to be showing the length of it. We want it to be showing the amount of how many are in the assembly. So how to fix that? It's actually really easy. So go to Tools, Document Settings, Bill of Materials, change the base quantity from pipe length to each, hit OK, and that's all it is. It's really not bad. Now, if you want to do something like the length, again, I can make a video on it. You just let me know. Chime in the comments if anyone's interested. And then, you would naturally fill out your description, make it meaningful. As you can see, I would do something like this kind of layout. And then from there, if you want to use like, in this case, there was like 5, 6 different types of pipe that were all schedule 82-inch. You would basically go through and do a file, save copy as, and we'll just call this one 12.2, might as well keep up the naming scheme, right? And I don't know, we're going to make a bunch of them, right? Probably when we're working. So I would go ahead and do a 12.3. And then, so on and so on. You could make a million of these things. And then you can just mass place them. And then, you can just go around, I like to just line them up and then basically just grab one, assemble, grab one, assemble, grab one, assemble, and just keep on going down. But, you would do that process, and it saves you from having the issue. As you can see in this case, now it shows 3 instead of 1. And just like that, you're off to the races. Now, if you made, the entire assembly and did not address this on the front side, you're looking at fixing 2, 4, 7, 10, 13, 15, 17, 19, 22, 25, 28 pipes. You saw it wasn't very time consuming, but when you're talking about opening and manually adjusting the pipes, it does take a while. And sure, technically, I guess you could, double click it, edit it in place and do the same thing, but it's still going to take you some time. So it's very important on the front end, because this is already a time consuming project. On the front end, make sure that you are going through and setting up your pipe appropriately before you begin working. And in doing this, you will find life to be much easier. So, that's my little trick. So if anybody has any questions about piping, feel free to chime in the comments.